the second affirmative, rebuttal. So, my first advantage was earth water sustainability, and my opponent stated, no, that's not going to work. So he wanted to use desalination instead to preserve water or to get more water, because the problem that I stated was that we didn't have enough water on Earth. That was the issue, that was the harm. We do not have enough water on Earth, and by going to the moon we can get more water, because we're currently using more water than what we have at a rate that's going very fast. And he said that desalination will not cost as much as a mission to the moon. And with that, I just want to state, okay, well, desalination is only to do one thing. The only thing it's going to do is clean our water so we can drink it. A mission to the moon is going to help us get not only water, but it's going to help us get REMs. It's going to help us further our education on the moon. It's going to help us in so many other ways. So your answer of cost is invalid, because desalination is still going to cost money, although it's only going to be for one cause. You said that 300 people to the moon, just 300 people going to the moon, is already more than desalination would be, but you never clarified on how much we were going to desalinate and how that was equivalent to 300 people. And you also stated that time is of the essence. But as I said before, the moon would be so much more beneficial to go to than by desalinating. And desalination does not solve anything. The point is that we don't have enough water. All desalination does is it's just recycling water that we already have and making it useful. But what happens when all of that runs out? Well, we don't have an ocean anymore, which our ecosystem is not thriving. It's going to affect so many other things as well that I'm not going to go into right now. And quite frankly, what are we going to do when we actually do run out of water? The answer to that is go to the moon. So we might as well start now. And also, not all salt can be reused. As I stated before, there's going to be a lot of salt waste, along with many other problems with our ecosystems being non-existent. Once the ocean water is gone, we need our ocean, we really do. And you said that going to the moon would take time. Desalination would also take a lot of time. Not only time, but it would take a lot of money and a lot of factories or some type of labor in order to do this, which is a lot that it doesn't weigh out the same as going to the moon, because yes, going to the moon requires labor and work and machinery just like desalination, but going to the moon is greatly more beneficial. So with desalination and the moon we have similar issues, but a better outcome for going to the moon. With desalination, the outcome actually might be in reverse effect and have a lot of bad things happen as well. Next, moving on to my advantage 2 of minerals, you said costly of time. But recycling technology, because you said also recycling technology, we could do that, but recycling technology still makes it run out. The same problem with desalination, where if we're recycling, we're not actually getting new water, not getting new minerals, as we're talking about here. We're not getting the new, we're just recycling the old. What happens when we run out? We don't have any more. So, also, you wanted to go to China and get the REMs for recycling, but that runs into a lot of political issues as well. Moving on to advantage 3, colonizing the moon. So, you said that solar cosmic radiation harms. Okay. Solar cosmic radiation harms us. Yeah, so does nuclear war, so does the food we eat, so does a lot of things. A lot of things harm us in today's society. But going to the moon is greatly beneficial. Would you rather be at risk for getting cancer from the radiation from going to the moon? Or would you rather desalinate the oceans and have issues with that? Okay, disregard that, but what I'm saying is that everything gives you cancer. Everything harms you in some way, shape, or form. Food can give you diabetes. It's the choices you make. And also, by going to the moon and finding out more of how to go to the moon, we can find ways around this too. It doesn't have to be such an issue of the radiation. We can find ways around it. And just like everything else, it harms you. So that is just an invalid point that shouldn't even have really been mentioned because it's something that can easily be looked over, or we can find a way around it. So all in all, with Earth, water, sustainability, minerals, and colonizing the moon, it would be a greater advantage of going to the moon and developing it, because it would be beneficial in many, many areas and many aspects, whereas not going to the moon would not help us because we're not furthering anything. We're not getting any of the needed things that we need, such as water in order to live, minerals that we need in order to have new products and energy, and also in order to thrive. And that is where I state my case, and you will be voting for affirmative today because affirmative actually solves and has a greater outcome.